Well, as many communities always have, there is some history to be told, and sometimes that can come in different types of shapes and forms, from just visiting a museum, as we're at the Greeley History Museum today, or it can come in the form of little mini conferences or even walking tours around your community. And we have those here in Greeley, luckily. And here to tell us about the 2014 Tours and Brown Bag Series is Betsy Kellums, who's the Historic Preservation Specialist with the City of Greeley. And having said all that, welcome.
Thank you, Amy. It's nice to be here.
Well, as I mentioned, this is the time when things are kicking off, and actually they've already kind of started for one of the events that you coordinate, which is the History Brown Bag Series.
Yes, they will be running through October this year here at the Greeley History Museum. The February event will be Carmel Chuck Solano, who grew up in a migrant farm family in Northeast Colorado and wrote a book. He's going to present about the book and do a book signing here at the museum in February on the 27th. And then on March 27th, UNC history professor Michael Welsh will be presenting about the environmental history of Rocky Mountain National Park and its connection to Greeley. And then on April 24th, local author Paul Richard will talk about North Park, Colorado's North Park, and the ranching history and wildlife there.
All right, so that kind of takes us through the next few months at the beginning of the year. As far as the brown bag, and give a few details for folks. As you mentioned, it's right here at the Greeley History Museum in downtown Greeley. What kinds of things should folks bring with them? Of course, brown bag kind of implies maybe they should bring something with them to munch on.
Yes, we do encourage people to bring their lunches if they would like, obviously homemade or bought, and drinks. They can certainly bring any of those. They have them here in the community room, and so food and drink are allowed. We do not provide food. We sometimes are able to provide coffee or tea.
Okay, and as far as times when folks should arrive and about how much time they should allow in their schedule?
Yes, the event starts at 12, but we usually get started a few minutes after to allow people to come in who are coming on their lunch break. So if people want to come early, sometimes we have people come around 11:30 or so. I'm generally here by 11:30 getting set up, so they can come and have lunch if they want beforehand or eat during the presentation, and then it lasts usually about 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay, so that's a great way for folks to learn a little history and a little bit more about their community and in surrounding areas as well, as you mentioned, even the Rocky Mountain area, and how that ties into Greeley. And I know these aren't the only topics. That's just kind of the first 3 in the year. There's some other areas that are going to be covered this year. Maybe we can give folks a little teaser on what those will be.
Oh, sure. One will be about going to non-preservation organizations to find out the preservation argument. There will also be a special presentation on Emily Griffith and the Opportunity School. Young Chautauquans will be performing, and there will be several other architecture presentations and a cowboy presentation.
Okay, so lots of things to look forward to. And if folks are wanting to put those on their calendars, those occur, I believe it's the 4th Thursday of every month?
Yes, the 4th Thursday of every month from noon to 1 here at the Greeley History Museum, 714 8th Street.
Okay, so in conjunction with those, we also have the walking tours that I alluded to earlier. Can we give folks kind of an idea of what the walking tours are and what they can look forward to?
Yes, we have a long walking tour season this year from April through September. We'll be having, the first tour will be on Monday, April 21st, and that will be a tour of the UNC Historic Campus led by Jed Cummins of UNC, and that will be at 5:30. And then in May, we'll have a tour of the Sunrise neighborhood. June and July and August we'll have tours on Monday evenings of various locations, the Spanish Colony, Island Grove, and several other places. And then in September, we're going to finalize the walking tour season with a tour of the West Campus of UNC.
Okay, so lots of things there. There's no way I would remember all of this, but I know that you have a handy brochure that you guys always put together every year that shows all of the dates for the brown bags and the walking tours and other events. And I know you have a sample of that here.
Yes, and we're finalizing it right now, so it's not totally complete. But we will be posting it on the website, distributing it to libraries, stores, everywhere we can get them distributed. And of course, we'll mail them to anybody who wants them as well.
Okay, and just real quickly, I always like to mention that May is Historic Preservation Month.
Yes, and we will be celebrating with several special events in May this year. We'll be having a reception and Historic Preservation Month awards as normal, and then a walking tour, a history brown bag, and then we'll also be having a historic property workshop, a historic property research workshop as well.
Okay, and one last thing while we wrap up here. One of the new things that's going on with historic preservation are energy audits. Can we give folks a little bit of information about that?
Oh, absolutely. The city received a grant from History Colorado to do 10 energy audits on historic register properties. So we've hired a company to do energy audits to assess where energy is being lost and how they can make improvements to their historic properties in a way that also preserves the historic features of the properties.
Okay, great. Well, lots of information there. Phone number or website folks can visit.
Yes, my phone number is 970-350-9222, and that's the Historic Preservation Office. The website is www.greeleygov.com/historic preservation.
Okay, well, Betsy Kellums, thanks very much for being here today, and we'll look forward to seeing you while we're observing some history.
Thank you very much, Amy.
All right, so make sure you check out that website, get a hold of one of those brochures, and hopefully we'll see you out walking around.